Welcome to Colorful Journeys of Success. Listen to and watch our fascinating guests as they share colorful stories of success and how they help inspire. Now, here's Claire, the color wheeling lady and our host.
Welcome to Colorful Journey of Success. I'm so glad that you joined us because we have a very, very special lady going to be as our guest. Her name is Amanda McTigue, and I think I got that right. She is just charming, she's talented, she's delightful, so it's my pleasure to welcome Amanda.
Hi! You did so good with my name. That's a hard name.
Oh, thank you very much for joining us. Colorful Journey of Success. This is all about successful people who are helping other people succeed, and that's you.
Ah, it's nice of you to say.
Well, when I met you the first time at the Writers Association, you were the speaker. Mm-hmm. You gave a great presentation.
Thank you.
You were just bursting with talent and energy and bubbles and
wow, that's
and
great.
Everybody loved listening to you.
That's great.
And all the clips and everything. Oh, that was wonderful. So, but I'm doing all the talking. I want you to do the talking.
Well, I work hard when I'm out coaching. I work hard on lifting people into a sense that they can do whatever it is they want to do. That's what that's all about for me. So I'm glad to hear that.
Well, we'll talk more about that in the next segment, but right now let's talk about Amanda, the author.
Okay.
The author and performer. Why don't you share your
way back
the New York story?
Well, so I was an East Coast gal. So my mom's from the mountains of North Carolina, so I went to school on the East Coast, and I ended up at Yale, fancy, and it's typical to go to Yale and then come down to New York. I was a singer. So I went down there to sing and perform. I wasn't getting cast. I just wasn't, and I was frustrated. So a teacher and I got together every Tuesday afternoon, and we wrote ourselves a play. So I wrote a play for myself. I lied. I said I didn't write it. I found a director. I found a producer. I got it produced off-Broadway, which gave me my union card as an actor. And by the time I was done with all of that, I realized I don't want to be a performer. I'm a writer. And it's been that way ever since. I wrote for performers initially, and then I switched over to prose and wrote a novel.
Ah, nice, nice. Now, this is the novel that you wrote.
Right, Going to Solace, right.
Going to Solace. Well, you have a very we have an incredibly talented mother who was a storyteller also.
Right.
But she did it in the tapestry, right?
Right.
Talk about that.
So my mom was from her people. I'm going to talk like her for a minute. Her people from the mountains of Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina, and she was a quilter. And that quilting turned to story quilting because there were stories she wanted to tell. This is a quilt about the closing of the textile mills in North Carolina, which just upset her. So then it came down to me. I am no good with fabrics, but I'm good with words. So she pieced fabric to tell a story, and I piece words to tell a story, and it feels like that to me. Writing feels like quilting to me.
It is. It's like a puzzle. It is definitely like a puzzle.
And getting it just right, and I spent a lot of time editing, and this book is about the Blue Ridge Mountains, so I initially tapped something that was very close to her and her people.
Well, your card is very interesting. Talk about your card.
Right. So for me, a card, especially these days,
your business card.
Right, my business card. It's about giving people a feeling. I mean, there's a little bit of information there, but mostly, well, first of all, to me, it's important that my picture's on there because I have memory problems. It really helps me when I take a card home and I've got somebody's picture on it. That really helps.
That's true. That's true. Well, why don't you tell our audience, though, who are listening, what your card says?
Well, so I think it says Think, Speak, Write. Yes, Amanda McTigue, and it's got my information, and then it says Think, Speak, Write, because that card works for me both as an author.
Think, speak, write.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
I work as a teacher and as a consultant, so that helps people understand how I can be helpful to them. And then on the back, it's got my novel, and it's got what they call a QR code, so people can just go toward the book. So I did it double-sided.
Well, that's interesting. Actually, describe what this actually is. A lot of people will look at that and they're maybe not sure.
Right. So your phone, a smartphone, can take a picture of that, and it will send the phone to any web page. So if you want people to go straight to your web page, for instance, you can make a code like that. It doesn't cost anything to do. And then the phone automatically takes you somewhere that you'd like them to go. So that's what that does. It's called
this is an
QR
education.
code. Yeah.
This is an education. Wow. Well, Amanda, you're just full of knowledge, aren't you?
I don't know. You know, we all have to scramble to keep up. I mean, storytelling, you have to get the story from quilt to print to ebook to audiobook. I mean, there are all of these formats, you know. Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about this story then?
Well, and I can tell you about the story. And also, I think for the folks who are wondering about this, let me just say that I decided to slide into prose, and the story began as a set of short stories. And then I realized it was a novel. It's very simply about a set of people in the Blue Ridge Mountains who are very different. Someone in their family is sick, and they have to go to a hospice called Solace. So they're going to Solace.
I see.
And it's really a study in cultures crossing, which is what the Blue Ridge Mountains are about. Funny, and sad, and all kinds of pieces to it. To get here, before I published this, I went ahead and taught myself how to make a book. And that's so typically me, and that comes from my mother. So I learned how to lay out a book. I did a couple of children's books just for myself, so I could figure out what's this thing about making a book. And that really came in handy when it was time to talk to a publisher about this book and a designer about this book. So if people have extra energy, I highly recommend looking into how books, both ebooks and print books, are made.
Oh.
So that even if you go to a traditional publisher, you will be able to talk intelligently about what they're doing. That's how it really helped me.
And so well, no, I'll catch you. I'll ask the next question on the next show. But I want to stay with you as an author. Your passion. What's your passion?
You know, it's funny, it's more than a passion. I feel like it's a drive. I feel like I have an animal. When I get up in the morning, I just want to go to my desk. I write pretty much 7 days a week. It's my favorite thing to do. And for me, it's about trying to make something beautiful. So I'm driven to it. Maybe it's a passion, but and until I'm not, it's what I get to do. I'm so lucky. I mean, I've worked this around my jobs. I've had lots of jobs where I'd have to do it in the middle of the night. And now these days I get to do it full time, and I just love it.
Well, you had such an interesting concept. Describe your concept when you were talking to us.
The concept, wait, help me with that.
Well, a lot of visuals and...
Oh, yes. So as an author, it seems to me, writing, creativity, that the big challenge is to get out of your own way. So I work a lot on getting myself into the right frame of mind. For me, writing comes from, it comes to me and through me. And so if I'm distracted, and especially if I'm doubting myself, I don't do a very good job. So I spend a lot of time with myself at the desk, trying to put myself in the right frame of mind. And then when I'm working with other people, I try to do the same thing.
Interesting. So who taught you to do that?
You know what? I think a lot of us find the right teachers by finding the wrong teachers, and we won't name them, but I've had teachers that kind of closed me down, and I've found teachers lately who are, again, they're more about getting open to the creativity that comes to me and less forcing it, or there's no list or formula I go to. It's more about getting your mind open. And just by virtue of, I ask people who can be helpful, and then I try different teachers, and I found some wonderful teachers lately. It's been great.
Oh, well, I think you might consider that because you actually are receptive to it. Maybe you had the wonderful teachers before, but you didn't recognize it.
That's a really good point. And I had to have a real low. I had to have real doubts before I got myself picked up by the back of my neck and sort of found the right people for me. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like we hear the advice or we hear the ideas or whatever, and it doesn't click.
You know, I have a great story about that, actually. I've been archiving old stuff that I have lying around, and I had these old audio cassettes, and I found one from in my early 20s. I apparently went to somebody's party, and they had like a horoscope person there. I'm not really a horoscope person, but this was somebody's, yeah, a reader, there we go.
Yeah.
So this was somebody's reading about me. And so that means the person was talking to me, but just as you said, I didn't really hear it. Well, I played it back the other day to see what the heck is on here, and this woman said something that I wish I had listened to back then. She said, Amanda, you have confidence confused with determination. You are not a confident person, but you are a determined person. And that is so true. I'm not particularly, you know, I don't wake up thinking I'm, you know, the next whatever. I wake up basically in doubt about myself. But one thing I am is determined. I just keep putting one foot in front of another, and I fall down and I get back up again. But I didn't hear it way back then. Now I was ready to hear it.
Now you hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have, what, 2 minutes to go? So give us a word, like in 3 words. Wise advice for the reader, for the listeners and the viewers.
Who are writers, you mean? The listeners and viewers who are writers? For anyone?
Anyone. Coming from an author, a published author, what would you say to people in terms of success and how you achieve it? Give us a motivational pitch. 3 words.
3 words? Literally
Yeah.
3 words?
Mm-hmm. No more than 3 words.
You define success.
I love it. Ah, very good. You define success. And that's so true.
It's really important.
That's true.
Success is a long game, and you have to define it. You cannot let it, even the people who love you.
I'm going to say thank you so much for joining Colorful Journey of Success.
Thank you.
Because
thank
it's
you.
all about success. So you are a very special lady. So thank you so much for joining Colorful Journey of Success. Wasn't she great? Her name is Amanda McTigue. Yes, she's a very accomplished author. And by the way, if you happen to have an idea or would you like to be interviewed, please let me know. My name is Claire Mullen. I'm the producer and host of Colorful Journey of Success. I'd like to hear about you. So be sure and contact me. I want to hear. So thank you again for joining Colorful Journey of Success. So have a wonderful life. Bye for now.